How are you guys doing? I just want to welcome you to Watch Queen Lose. This is basically my 2011 recap video. And I'm making this video because I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in asking God for things, for praying for things, for wishing for things, for hoping for things, always setting our goals and our aspirations before us. And a lot of times I feel like in our society, in our culture, just in this generation, in this age, and I just think it's something that people do in general, it's easy to forget. It's easy to be so focused on where you want to go, where you want to be, what your aspirations are, that you forget how far God has brought you or what He's done for you in your life. And as I reflect over 2011, I can honestly say this has been the second best year of my life. And we have to be very intentional about sitting down and reflecting, because we can get so caught up in the moment, whether it be a good moment or a bad moment. We can get so caught up in the moment that we don't realize, we forget to reflect and see where God has brought us from. And one reason why that's really important, because when we look back and we're able to see where we've come from, it helps us. Or when we look back and we're able to see what He's done in our lives, it fuels our faith. It strengthens our faith. It gives us a level of confidence about the future. When we can't see what God's going to do, when we can't see what His next move is, when things seem a little shaky or uncertain, we're able to look back and say, well, if God has brought me from this, if He brought me from that, if He's done X, Y, and Z in my life, then it fuels your faith. It gives you a level of confidence and hope that you may not have necessarily had, because you're so focused on the momentary or on the immediate circumstances. And so as I reflect over 2011, I can look back and say God has done a lot for me this year, and I have done a lot through His power this year. Many of you guys know my story, but if this is your first time tuning in to Watch Queen Lose, I can just, really quickly give you a brief synopsis of my story. I've been overweight my entire life. It's, as far as I can remember, it's maybe 5 or 6 years old, I was pretty normal, but as early as elementary, as early as 1st and 2nd and 3rd grade, I was the overweight kid in school. Made fun of. I hated elementary, hated junior high. Honestly, if it wasn't for like my siblings that went to school with me, it would have been torturous. It already was. I was definitely that kid that was made fun of. I got into a lot of fights as a kid. And reflecting back over that, most of my fights were just kind of just like a defense mechanism. Like, my mentality is like, if I can beat you up, then you'll leave me alone. And it worked pretty well. But anyway, so that I was that kid that was made fun of in school for being fat. All the jokes you can think of, they were named. I was named. Even to the degree that I despise to this day the person who made up the phrase, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words may never hurt you. Like, honestly, I felt like that was a lie. And it is a lie. And my life has been scarred, or had been scarred, by how I was treated verbally as a child. And I felt like I didn't have much room to know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to handle that. But anyways, I said I would briefly tell you my story. So I was that overweight kid, exponentially progressed to obesity. 21 years old at a high of 356 pounds. I'm like 5'4" or 5'5", weighing 356 pounds, meaning I had at least 200 pounds to lose. Afraid, lonely, desperate, hopeless, just so many adjectives to describe the state that I was in. And in 2007, around my 21st birthday, I decided that I needed to change, and that I needed to trust God to help me fight my battle with obesity. and my addiction to food. It was time. It was now or never type of mentality. I was so afraid that my life would be controlled and ruined and ruled by my obesity, and I couldn't remain there. And it was either lay down and die or live and do what it takes to live. And when I say live, I'm not just talking about physically. I'm talking about the emotional, spiritual, psychological state I was in. And I wanted to be free more than anything else. So over the course of 2008, I had lost 100 pounds. And that is why I say that 2008 was the best year of my life, because I didn't think I could lose 5 pounds. And I watched God empower me daily to fight. And it was rough, but it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. And that was 2008. And 2009 was really hard. I plateaued. Then I started getting a little lax on my eating, and I pretty much maintained for about a year. And all of 2009, up and down, but pretty much maintained. I shrunk in inches still, but my weight was pretty consistent. As I approached 2010, I was like, no, something's got to change. I got to go hard. I at least have another 100 pounds to go. I got to about April of 2010 and still nothing major had changed in my life. In that journey, I hadn't lost a lot of weight. I didn't know what was going on. I felt hopeless. A friend of mine told me The Biggest Loser was coming to town. I was like, oh, for sure. I'm applying. I need this. I can't lose this extra 100, this second 100 by myself. It's going to be really hard. I don't think I have it left in me. Applied for the show, put myself out there. Actually, my Biggest Loser video is on here on my YouTube channel. And it was the first time that I was ever like completely vulnerable and honest or open, like with my body. It was a really difficult video to make because I exposed myself a lot. And I really thought I was going to get it. And when I didn't get it, it devastated me. And I was like, God, like, I thought this was my big break. I thought that, you know, you was going to do this for me. And when it happened, I was pretty devastated. But I had determined in my heart that if I could lose the first 100, and if he can empower me like he did to lose the first 100, I can do this. And so June 1st of 2010, I started making my YouTube videos and blogging, tracking my journey, setting out to just, you know, recap, to just go hard the second time around and just make it happen for myself. Because it's my life and I'm the only one who gets to live it. And if no one gives me a big break, I have to do what I have to do to fight for my life. And that led into this year. And so between June 1st of 2009 and right now, I've lost another 75 pounds, which has me at a total loss of 175 pounds naturally.